Happy Memorial Day. This is your walkthrough of week 3 for our ALEC 102 class. When you go into our Blackboard website and go into the week 3 tab, you can see that you have 3 readings due for this week. You want to read chapter 4 on perceptions, chapter 11 on trust, and chapter 14 on empathy. This week, you have a quiz over 2 of the chapters on perception and trust, and this is more of a reading quiz. So you'll want to make sure that you read those chapters and understand some of the key concepts. And that quiz, of course, is due by Sunday of this week at 11:59 p.m. This week you have your first presentation due. Again, the video needs to be uploaded to Blackboard by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And what I'd like to do is take a moment to walk you through the Great Leader presentation, explain the instructions, and then give you a short tutorial on what I'm looking for in regards to the actual video itself. And then, of course, you have your weekly discussion board in your group. Remember that in order to do your discussion board, over here in the left-hand corner, you'll click on your group number. You will type your response to week 3's discussion by Thursday of this week at 11:59 p.m. And this week's topic has to do with the concept of empathy, which you'll read about in chapter 14. And then by Sunday of this week, you are to respond to your other group members in order to get full credit for your weekly discussion. All right, so let's walk through the Great Leader presentation. Now, the best way to get the information for what this speech entails, and I just updated this document, is to click on the attached file that I have here in the assignment. So we're just going to click on this Word document and open it up so we can walk through the speech requirements. This speech is for you to interview somebody that you know in your life and consider to be a great leader. Someone who you look up to and you really admire them for their leadership capabilities. So you might choose a family member like a parent, a grandparent, or a sibling. You can choose a friend, maybe someone you've worked with closely in a job or at a church, could even be a teacher. You want to interview that person and ask them the following questions. 1, what is their definition of leadership? 2, how do they view interpersonal skills as part of leadership? So why are interpersonal skills important? 3, their best leadership characteristics. 4, their challenges as a leader. And 5, who do they think is a great leader? Someone that they have admired. You want to make sure that your speech is well organized with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. You want to use note cards and not a fully written manuscript. When you video record this speech, I do not want you looking down, simply reading a speech word for word off a piece of paper. That is not a presentation, that is you reading to me. I want you to sound rehearsed, but I do not want you to be memorized or robotic. You still want to sound conversational and natural, even though you're speaking to a camera. So think of this as if you were Skyping with someone, maybe someone for a job, and you needed to talk to them over a webcam. It needs to be professional, but it also needs to be conversational and have a natural tone to it. The requirements for this speech is that it should be 3 to 5 minutes in length. I want to make sure that you're wearing a nice top, so I don't want to see sweatshirts, pajamas, low-cut shirts, or anything like that. I want you to sit in a nice, quiet place where there's no distractions when you record your presentation. So we don't want kids running in the background, dogs barking, those types of things. So make sure you sit in a nice, quiet environment. You want to make sure that your microphone is working so that I can hear you. And your camera should be positioned so that we can see you from about chest up, so I can clearly see your face and any hand gestures that you might use, so I can grade you appropriately. And then right here, you can see what I'm using as grading criteria. If you scroll down to the second page, you'll see the actual grading rubric. So the first half of the rubric talks about the organization and the content, and the second half of the grading rubric is based on your delivery skills. So how I would go about organizing this is in this first column here where it says presented information about who the leader is, I would include that in my introduction. I would introduce myself, who I chose as my great leader and why. And then I would preview that I'm going to talk about certain topics that I discussed in the interview. Then I would go into the body of the speech where I would answer the following questions. I would tell the audience the leader's definition of leadership, how interpersonal skills are important, their best characteristics, their challenges, and then who their great leader is. And then I would wrap it up with some type of conclusion. I would say, in conclusion, my great leader was so-and-so, and based on interviewing them, I have learned these things, and I aspire to be like this leader someday. And then I'm going to be grading you on delivery, that you speak loudly and clearly, that your presentation is interesting, and that you used good, appropriate nonverbal, so that you're not looking down and reading off a script, that if you happen to gesture, I can see it and the gestures are appropriate, etc. And this speech is worth 45 points. So you can do this a number of different ways. You may have somebody record you using your smartphone camera, and I would upload your video to YouTube in that case, and then attach your video link. A lot of you have webcams built in on your laptops, so you might consider using your built-in camera on your laptop. Those are all some suggestions, and if you need further suggestions, please let me know. And if we have to, what we will do is you and I will create a time when we can log into Adobe Connect together. I'll give you the link to an Adobe meeting, and you will present the speech to me virtually live, and we can record it that way. And so I can see you if we need to use that, or maybe use Google Hangouts or something. So those are some options as well if we need to do it that way. So let me show you how I would go about doing this. I have a MacBook Air, and there's a tool in a MacBook Air where I would use what's called Photo Booth. So I've pulled up my photo booth, and you should be able to see me. Right now it's on camera, and so I'm going to change it to a video. So I just clicked on this button here that's video. So there's camera, video. And then I'm going to record myself. Now I'm going to scoot my camera back, and I'm in my office, which is a little messy. You can see all the boxes behind me. And I would not consider this a professional top, so keep that in mind. I would like to see you in something a little nicer, but it's really hot today and I've been working. So I'm going to scoot back so I can see from the chest up. Let's pretend that I have notes in front of me, and I can gesture and I can look directly at you and have nice conversation looking right at my audience. So I'm going to look straight forward as if I was speaking to somebody on the other side of this camera, because I want it to be natural and interactive. And I'm going to glance down at my notes. So I can give you a little mini demonstration here. I'd push record. Hi. My name is Kate McCain, and today I would like to give you a presentation about who I consider to be a great leader in my life, and that person happens to be my mother. I really look up to my mother for a number of different reasons. She's also an educator like I am, and that's something that I really admire about her passion for education and helping young people. My mother happens to be an art teacher, and so she's instilled a sense of creativity and appreciation for the arts, which is something I also value in her as a leader. And my mother was also a single parent and spent a lot of time and energy making sure that my sister and I had everything that we needed. So she was very dedicated, not only as a professional, but as a parent, and so I really value that. So today in my presentation, I'm going to discuss 5 different topics that I discussed with my mom in our interview. And then I would simply go into saying, first of all, I'd like to start with her definition. To quote, she stated that a leader is, then I might look down, read her quote, and then I'd look back up. And then I'd say, next, I'd like to discuss what she considers the importance of interpersonal leadership skills. She stated, then I might look down, read a little bit, but then look back up and engage. So let's pretend that I'm done with my speech. In conclusion, I interviewed my mom, who I consider to be a great leader for a number of different reasons, and someday I hope to be the educator and the parent that she is. Thank you. Okay, so we're done. I'm gonna hit stop. Now I've created a video on my computer. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on my video. Hi, my name is... And I'm gonna export it. I think you can export it a number of different ways. You might be able to click on this. Yep, so I can click on this right here. I can mail it, I can send it to places. What I want to do though is go File, Export, and I'm going to name it Great Leader. And I want to save this simply to my desktop. And so now the speech is on my desktop. And now I'm going to go into my YouTube account. You can easily create a YouTube account. And right up here, I have upload. I just use my Gmail login to do this. So I'm going to hit upload. And then to select a file, I'm going to look at my desktop, and here's my Great Leader movie. I'm going to open it. And then here's where you're going to want to make some changes. Over here where it says public, what you want to do instead of public is you want to click it to unlisted. This doesn't put it out on YouTube for everybody to see. What happens is your link is unlisted, so only the person with the actual link can view the video, okay? So make your video unlisted. If it is private, I can't get into it. Only you can get into it on your YouTube account, or I would have to log into your YouTube account. So you want to change it to unlisted. This is only at 40%, but once this is done unloading, right here's my link. So I'm going to copy my link. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back into Blackboard, and right here where it says please upload your video link here, I'm going to click on the Great Leader presentation title. And I am simply going to, right here, paste my link and hit submit. And then what's going to happen is that's going to be on Blackboard for me, so then I can go into the assignments and I can cut and paste all of these links into YouTube and then go ahead and watch them. And since this isn't live yet, I don't think it'll be there to show you. But in essence, my video then will pop up because I have access to that link, even though it's unlisted. It won't just be on YouTube for all to see. And as you can see, I'm 97% done. So that took, well, it's actually done now. It's just processing. So this will only take a couple of minutes to record it and get it uploaded. Okay. All right, so I hope that was a good walkthrough to show you what we're doing for this week. Again, you have 3 chapters to read, a quiz to complete, as always a weekly discussion board, and then your only extra assignment for this week is to find a great leader in your life to interview and record a 3 to 5 minute presentation, making sure you follow the requirements. Again, if you have any confusion or concern about how to go about recording yourself, if you can't use your smartphone, you can't use your laptop to record your speech and upload the link to YouTube, then you need to email me, and then you and I will set aside some time to either meet in person and have you deliver it, or we'll Skype and do it live, or use Adobe Connect or something of that sort so we can get your video recorded and so you're not missing a grade. And remember, the deadlines for everything is this Sunday, June 5th at 11:59 p.m. Have a great week.